Hey guys, what's up? IrishEmerald here, and welcome to week 11 in the Pokemon Battle Association. This week we're up against Jonathan, or JT, um, coach of the New York Nightshades, and he's got a pretty interesting team. But before I dive into this, I want to give a huge thanks to Jonathan, who actually saved the battle code for me because yet again, yet again, I forgot to save it when I battled him earlier in the season. So definitely, I got to cop on a bit, but huge thank you to Jonathan who actually did um, save the battle for me. So let's have a quick look at my team and a quick look at his team. I'm bringing a Cleric Umbreon, an AV Gramble, specially defensive Uxie, a Scarfed Houndoom, an Orbed Drill with Jolly Nature, and a Mega Lopunny. Because Mega Lopunny does do a lot to his team. I went Orb Drill this week because the Mons I was going outspeed. I didn't really want to outspeed because I was predicting him to bring Scarf Staraptor, so I figured right, Scarf Drill's not going to do that because he'll just bring Scarf Staraptor and just click close combat and I'm done. I didn't feel the need to bring a Scarf against Sableye. I didn't feel the need for uh, Jolteon. And I didn't think he would bring Jolteon if I'm being honest, or Scarf variant or anything kind of shenanigans just because I have Drill and I have like Latios who walls it and all that kind of stuff. But he did bring it. Um, and I felt like I felt the orb kind and the speed that the Drill would be at max speed was enough to deal with it. And then I have the Flash Fire Houndoom so as to be able to come in and eat a Will-O-Wisp, as well as the Synchronize Umbreon so as I could burn the Sableye as well. And they have the Umbreon as a Cleric in case my Lopunny gets burnt or something like that. And so therefore I can go off, just click Heal Bell, and then don't have to worry about that anymore. I was pretty worried that he's going to have Scarfed Staraptor. Sableye is a huge threat as always. I was pretty worried he was going to have something Scarfed anyways to be able to deal with my Lopunny, like the Starmie Scarf and all that kind of stuff. But we'll see how the battle goes on. I knew I had to kind of deal with the Chansey somehow, some way. So I have knockoff on the Uxie for that, but anyways, let's just get into it and let's have a look and see how it all played out. So oh yeah, because Jonathan saved the code for us, we are viewing it from his side of the field. So I apologize for the mix-up here again. Uh, I'll eventually get used to it. He leaves with his Staraptor. I leave with my Lopunny. Um, you know, I'm going to Mega Evolve and just go for the Fake Out because he's got nothing that really wants to take a Fake Out per se. Like he's got no like kind of Steel or Rock type that wants to take it. So I said, this is going to do damage on something. No one's going to like it. That's fine. I switch out here because I'm, as I said, fearing the Scarf Staraptor with the Brave Bird or the Close Combat. So I go into my Uxie, thinking he's going to go close. He's going to go CC. He goes for U-turn. He switches back out, which is fine, and he goes out into his Sableye. So that was definitely an interesting play. He reckons he could 1v1 my Uxie with the Sableye. I immediately decided to switch out here because I'm thinking, right, he's gonna go for the Willow. He has to go for Will-O-Wisp. So I go out to my Umbreon thinking, right, let's get the burn on this Sableye first, and then worry about kind of catching flash fires and all that kind of shenanigans later, and trying to hurt this defensive beast. But anyways, he goes for the Will-O-Wisp and he does burn me. So I'm delighted with this because my Synchronize comes into play. His Sableye is burnt, and I have the Heal Bell, so my burn is just, it's a problem I can get rid of later on in the game, which is fine. He decides to switch here, figuring he can't really deal with my Umbreon, and goes out into his Chansey, which is, interesting because Chansey's one of those mons that can kind of, it just sits there and takes hits, and the Seismic Toss and just Toxic and wears you down, but there's ways and means to kind of just stop that, I go for the Protect here, just, scout what he's going to go for. Is he Seismic Toss, is he Toxic, all that kind of stuff. He goes for the Seismic Toss, so I'm like, okay, that's interesting. He doesn't seem to have a status move to be able to put on me, but at the same time, he's probably afraid of the Synchronize. So I just go for the Wish here, thinking, right, he's not going to go for a status move. Let's just go for a Wish so I can pass out into someone else. as he goes for the seismic toss. So as you guys know, that does 50 damage because I'm level 50, but that doesn't really worry me because Umbreon is max HP. I decided to switch out my Umbreon and I go out into my Uxie because Uxie has got the knock off. So I'm like, let's go out into Uxie, try and knock this thing off or knock something off from somebody, and I get my wish health all the way back up, so I'm at full health, which is mint. He switches out here. He's probably predicted knockoff here, which to be fair, it was coming, and it was the smart play going out to his Sableye to eat this knockoff. As I do very, very little to it. The burn actually does more to the Sableye than my Uxie, which is disastrous, really. I decided I'm going to go for the U-turn here. I figured he wasn't going to go for burns or whatever. Because, oh no, he couldn't go. He didn't have Prankster, that's what. He didn't have Prankster, so I knew I was going to outspeed him. So I go for the U-turn and I go into my Houndoom, hoping that he does go for the Will-O-Wisp here, and I get Flash Fire, and I can just bomb Fire Blast on somebody. But instead he goes for the recover, and just to get his health back up, which was probably smart because had he gone for the Will-O-Wisp, the Fire Blast from Houndoom was more likely going to kill. He decides he's going to go out into his Dragonite here as I go for the Fire Blast, and he dukes and dodges and misses my Fire Blast. So I switch here and I go out into my Gramble because I can intimidate him. I can take a hit because I'm max HP and max attack. So I figured I'd be able to take a hit after this. From this Dragonite. Unfortunately, he gets the critical hit on me. So my Gramble was not living that, not at all. So that was that kind of thing done and dusted. I decided to go into my Lopunny here, hoping to get a fake out off on this Dragonite and break his multi-scale. But he is smart. He switches out and he goes out into his Sableye. Now, for me, I'm like, look, you eat the fake out, but you don't have Prankster anymore. You're not going to burn me. I'm just going to nail you here with a high jump kick. And that's exactly what I do. I go straight for the high jump kick and down goes this Sableye. So I do not have to deal with this wall at all. Lopunny just wrecked him right there. It was fantastic. So he goes out to Starmie, and I'm scared that this thing is the Scarfmon, right? So I'm not too sure what is Scarf just yet. So I get out of here and I go into my Umbreon because, like, if he's Scarfed, he's going to go for Psychic. So let's just not deal with that. Let's just go out to Umbreon. He can eat a hit from the Starmie. It's fine. And he goes for the Psychic and we're fine. We're grand. He switches here. Now, and this has got me believing, alright, the Starmie has to be Scarfed or has to be, Specs or something. As I go for the Wish here. Because I'm thinking, I can probably get a free play here if he's locked into something. And if not, he's just going to Scald me or do something else and I'll eat it. It'll be fine. And I'll just go for the Wish and I'll Protect. Like, Wish was my best play there. From here, I decide to eat this close combat and foul play this thing. And that's because I calced it and I knew I could live it. Barely. And I had Wish coming. So, he's -1 defense. And my foul play will take this Staraptor out. Easy. So, that worked out brilliantly for me. I just took the time out to do the calc there. And I knew I could, just about live it. Barring a crit. And we get our health straight back up because of the Wish. Perfect play for me, realistically. I was delighted with that. As he goes out into his Umbreon. Oh, not his Umbreon, his Dragonite. He goes for the Outrage here, and he does do a fair number to me and knocks me out. So down goes my Umbreon, unfortunately. But I decide I'll go out into my Lopunny here. Because he's locked into Outrage. I can go for the Fake Out, flinch him, break the scale. Perfect for me. And that's exactly what I do. So the Dragonite Perilous Flinch cannot move. And of course, at this moment, it becomes confused because Outrage is broken. So that suits me down to the ground. I decided to go out some Excadrill here because the way my speed works out, as I was saying earlier, I figured that Excadrill's speed would outspeed the threats I wanted to, and this is one of the threats. My Excadrill naturally outspeeds Dragonite. So unless this thing was Scarfed, which you see, but like it's so rare, you don't often see it. It's really uncommon. Because it gets his E-speed. But I knew I was going to outspeed, so I went for the Rock Slide. And we KO the Dragonite, which is just beautiful. It's perfect. So he switches back out into Starmie, and he realizes, look, I realize, look, I'm not going to take a Scald from this thing. Let's get out of here and let's go on to my Uxie, who can eat Scalds from this thing. So he does go for the Scald, and it does less than half, which is fine. And we see that this thing is orbed. So for me, I'm like, right, this is perfect, because if Starmie is orbed, that means my low pony is going to outspeed it. So beautiful stuff. I'm just going to stay in here with my Uxie, but he does get land a critical hit and the burn in that case as well, which sucks for me because I was hoping that Uxie can kind of just come in here and wear it out with knock off a new turn. So look, it happens. It's not the end of the world because I'm still in pretty much control. I knock off his life orb, and and I do take the burn damage. I do live though, so it means, it doesn't really mean much for me. I'm just going to let this Uxie just drop because I'm nothing that really wants to come in and take a Scald. And this thing dies on rocks anyway, so I didn't see the need for having Death Follower at this moment in the time. I decided to go into my low pony here because I just realized, his Starmie can't, eat in return from a Mega Low pony, and his whole team can't really come in on a return. So he goes out into his Chansey here because Chansey's the only wall he's got left, and I go for the return here, and it's perfect. Do a good chunk, and then I go for the high jump kick, and I just finish off this Chansey. Done and dusted. Another one bites the dust. Delighted. So down goes the Chansey, and he goes back out into his Starmie. Now, the Starmie, I'm not worried about the Starmie. I'm like, I know I outspeed you. I'm just going to click return. You're done. Right, and last but not least, he goes out into his Blitzkrieg, his Jolteon. Now, Jolteon does outspeed me. I think because I'm adamant low pony, and I do live because it doesn't hit me hard enough, despite it being orbed, and I pick off the Jolteon with the return, and that wraps up that game. We get the 3-0 victory there against Jonathan. GG Jonathan, great game. I was really worried that something was scarfed, and maybe the Staraptor was scarfed, but it was just, I think the Umbreon we just dealt with it perfectly enough, and then after that, Low Pony was just able to do damage. Like, Low Pony picked off 5 of this guy's team, like the Sableye, the Starmie, the Jolteon, the Chansey, and not the Dragonite, but I picked off 4 of his team. It was just insane. Low Pony was wrecking havoc today, so I was delighted with that. For the next matchup, we were facing. I have it up here on my left. Next matchup, we were facing. I believe it was Ortiz. Yes, we were meant to be facing Ortiz, and what happened was, both of our schedules were so busy, we just couldn't get the match done. He was between his work and my work, and then our schedules at the weekend, it just didn't work, as well as the time zones. Like, it's really awkward getting the time zones down as well, because he was working a bit later, so I think he was working until like 7 or 8, and then like 7 or 8 my time in the US. I think it was Eastern time. For me, that's like 12, 1 o'clock, like in the night. So that's not happening for me during the weekend, and weekends it just never matched up. So unfortunately, we both had to take the loss there because we were both just too busy. Our times just didn't match, so we both take a 3-0 loss there. So for this week, we ended up as 3-8, and after that week, we ended up as 3-9. So leading the work week 13, we're 3-9. So playoff hopes are pretty much down the bucket at this point, but we're fighting for a bit of pride, particularly in week 13, as it's a local derby. We're facing a British team, so definitely fighting for a little bit of Wheeler pride, like a bit of Irish pride as well. So definitely make sure to check that one out. Other than that, I'm going to wrap it up here today, folks. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please click the like button down below. If you want to see more, if you want to see, if you have any comments on the video, there we go. I'm totally losing my outro here. If you have any comments on the video, please let me know in the comment section down below. And last but not least, if you want to see more PBA battles coming your way, or Pokemon content in general coming your way on this channel, please click that subscribe button down below for me, guys. On that note, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.